There are games, and then there are moments in time. And Pro Evolution Soccer 2013? Well, that wasn't just another football game, it was the final roar of the old school Pro Evo era. Before the engine switch, before Konami started chasing EA's tail, and before we all started asking, what the hell happened to Pro Evolution? See, for many, Pro Evo 2013 is the greatest football game ever made. And even if you don't fully agree with that statement, I think you can't deny that it felt special. So, buckle up, dust off those old memories of the game, and let's dive deep into what made Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 so damn great. Let's look into what made it a title that, for many, still outshines what came after. So, let's start with what matters the most, the gameplay. See, Pro Evo 13 was the perfect storm of simplicity and satisfaction on the pitch. You didn't need 30 button combinations or microtransactions to have fun with this game. The gameplay was clean, responsive and unpredictable in the best ways possible. You could score bangers, pull off slick one-touch combos, or watch things go beautifully off script in a way that made every match feel alive. In essence, you just played, and it felt so damn good. No gimmicks, just football with soul. But hey, what was it specifically that made Pro Evo 13 gameplay so satisfying? Well, for me, one aspect that definitely stands head and shoulders above the rest are the shots. Oh my goodness, the feeling of unleashing a powerful strike in this game was second to none. You could feel the weight and the impact as the ball flew off your player's foot. And finish shots? Man, that beautiful dipping arc as the ball lands into the side netting. Just pure artistry. And you know what I absolutely loved in this game? The disappearance of those dreaded balloon shots. Remember in previous Pro Evo titles, like what we watched in Pro Evo 11 retrospective video, when you would try an ambitious shot in a tough spot and the ball would just, well, it would just float aimlessly into the sky? This is gone. Pro Evo 13 felt more grounded, more realistic in that regard, and I was definitely not complaining. Now, let's talk about the other end of the pitch, defending. I'm not gonna lie. My first few hours with Pro Evo 13 had me pulling my hair out. Well, if only I had some left. I would see the computer racking up 20 or even 30 shots on just top player difficulty, and I was convinced that my backline was made of paper. But then it all clicked. See, Pro Evo 13's defending just works a little bit differently than it used to in previous games. It demands thoughtful choices. You can't just hold contain and expect miracles on the pitch. You have to actively alternate between containing and applying hard pressure with that dash plus contain combo. Once I figured that out, it was like a whole new game opened up for me. It became a strategic dance, trying to anticipate the AI's movements. And speaking of strategy, let's talk about passing. Finally, manual passing felt properly implemented in the game. See, in older Pro Evo games, trying to go full manual felt like you were wrestling with the controls, sacrificing your dribbling or contorting your fingers into weird combinations. And then Pro Evo 13 gave us a modern, intuitive manual passing system, and it was a game changer for those of us who wanted that little bit extra level of control. And you know, while general passing was definitely good in this game, I have to say that for me, Pro Evo 11 still held the crown in that particular department. Specifically, I felt that the chipped through balls in Pro Evolution Soccer 13 were a bit weaker than before, like a little slower, lacking that zip and power that I loved in the previous titles. It just didn't quite have the same satisfying crispness, if you know what I mean. But where Pro Evo 13 truly excelled was the AI. Man, the computer in this game was impressively intelligent, especially in attack. They wouldn't just mindlessly run at you, they would patiently build up on the wings, probe through the middle, and they were brilliant at waiting for you to commit before deciding whether to dribble, pass or shoot. And I really loved how they would actually run with the ball until you actively challenged them, which is a welcome change from some modern games where the AI seems desperate to get rid of the ball. Honestly, battling the AI in Pro Evo 13 was just pure fun. It was a genuine challenge that kept you on your toes without feeling unfair. You really had to think about your defensive positioning and your tactical approach to the match. And you know what? I freaking loved it. However, there was a slight downside to the AI's attacking prowess. They tended to push forward quite aggressively. So if you also favored a similar attacking style, more direct plays, then matches could sometimes devolve into a bit of an end-to-end rush, lacking some of that intricate midfield battle that I personally enjoyed so much in Pro Evo 11. In Pro Evolution Soccer 13, the tempo felt a little bit more frantic at times compared to the more measured build-up in the older game. On the flip side, I did appreciate that your teammates made more intelligent runs in the game compared to Pro Evo 11. Of course, you still needed to trigger some crucial runs on higher difficulties, but there was definitely more initiative from your AI partners, which was a welcomed improvement in this game. Where this game absolutely nailed it was the ball physics. I genuinely believe that they were the best we've seen in the older Pro Evolution Soccer titles that I have recently revisited for these videos. Here the ball had a real weight to it. It carried speed and punch when it should. And there was none of that floaty, unrealistic movement, especially on shots and passes. All in all, I think physics added so much to the overall immersion that they took the game to a whole new level. Now let's talk about the feel of the game and the presentation. Just like its predecessor, the menu in Pro Evo 13 was simply fantastic. Intuitive, quick to navigate, and that early 2010s era music, man, it still bangs. Unfortunately, I cannot play it for you guys in this video because of the copyrights, but trust me on that one, the soundtrack is a banger. It just set the right tone every time you booted up the game and I really liked it. And the overall atmosphere of the matches was also genuinely really cool. The graphics, even for a game over a decade old, have aged remarkably well. And the smoothness of the animations and the flow of play felt like a noticeable step up from previous titles. Some people used to complain about Pro Evo 13 having this subtle blur effect added to the graphics. Personally, I really enjoyed the vibe that it added to the match. It gave the game a bit more of that retro feel and actually made the visuals feel smoother for me. Without it, with super sharp graphics, I don't think it would have quite the same charm today. And then we had the absolute standout feature that truly elevated the immersion in Pro Evolution Soccer 2013, and that feature was the introduction of player ID. This wasn't just about having slightly better player likenesses, it was about capturing the unique movements, dribbling styles, and shooting techniques. Remember seeing Messi glide past defenders with that low center of gravity and incredible close control? Or Cristiano Ronaldo's powerful bursts of pace and those thunderous strikes? Pro Evo 13 did an incredible job of translating these iconic characteristics into the game. See, it wasn't just a generic player model with a famous face slapped on. These players felt and played like their real-life counterparts. Now, the default camera angles, as is tradition with Pro Evo titles, were, well, let's just say they weren't always ideal, and that's putting it mildly. But thankfully, the community came to the rescue with mods like the Pro Evo 13 camera settings mod. This allowed you to tweak the angles, height and zoom to create a much more immersive viewing experience on PC. Now sure, zooming out too far could cause those black zones instead of stadium stands, but honestly, for the improved view, I think it was a price worth paying. And then we had everything around the pitch. First, Master League in Pro Evo 13, absolutely peak. We had these cool little features like being able to assign specific boots to your players with stat boosts. You would earn new ones as you progressed in your career. And then we had the negotiation system, which was in my opinion brilliant. See, before you even could start conversation with a player about their contract and the transfer fee, there was a percentage chance of signing a player based on your club's reputation and player's personality and rating, which I think was genius because it allowed you to have more realistic situations in the Master League rather than just signing all the pros and all the stars that you just wanted. So for instance, I tried to sign Zlatan Ibrahimovic from his club in PSG with a measly 2% chance, while playing as Real Madrid. And yeah, it didn't work out. And you know what, that felt right, because his in-game arrogance to refuse Real Madrid transfer was just as real as the real Zlatan would do. And unlike some of the newer titles in the series, Pro Evo 13 still had that satisfying layer of managing your club's finances. It really added to that manager-like feeling and made your decisions feel more impactful. Now, I bet you wonder how supported this game still is now in 2025. See, Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 does not have a very active modding scene. But despite that, we still have access to tons of patches developed over the years. You can find patches to play the original 2012-2013 season, or even incredible updates that bring the rosters and teams all the way up to 2024. It's genuinely awesome that you can still experience modern football within this classic engine of Pro Evo 2013. But unfortunately, finding classic patches for seasons like 06 or 08 seems to be quite impossible task. In this way, Pro Evo 6 and 11 are in a way better spot since they offer more classic seasons to replay. But all in all, the sheer volume of patches available for more recent seasons is still seriously very impressive for Pro Evo 13. So, why does Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 continue to hold such a special place in our hearts? I think it's because it truly felt like the end of an era. See, it captured a certain magic, a blend of responsive gameplay, satisfying mechanics, especially those shots, and a level of unpredictability that many feel has been lost in more recent iterations of the series. Pro Evolution Soccer 2013 was a great game that, despite its minor quirks, just felt right to play. Pro Evo 13 was a simpler time, perhaps, in football gaming. There was less emphasis on overly complex systems, more focus on that core feeling of controlling a team and experience the ebb and flow of a match. And for so many of us, Pro Evo 13 just nailed that. So there you have it, my slightly more nuanced and personal look back at the brilliance of Pro Evolution Soccer 2013. The game wasn't perfect, no game is after all, but this one captured something truly special, that satisfying shot feeling, the strategic defending, the finally proper manual passing, the intelligent AI, the new player ID. It all contributed to a game that continues to be cherished by so many, even today. Now, I really want to hear your thoughts. Did my experience with the game resonate with you? What are your absolute favorite things about this game? And do you agree that the shots were something truly special in Pro Evo 13? And hey, where does Pro Evo 13 actually rank for you in the grand scheme of football games? So, let's get the conversation going in the comments below. Oh, and if you enjoy my videos and want to support my channel, then check out my Ko-Fi page where you can directly support me with donations, either one time or with monthly subscription. And if you want to see more videos like this one in the future, then click that like button and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, that's all from me in this video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.